Hi guys, thanks so much for stopping by. So today I will be talking about how I actually got rid of my fungus gnats, and I did pretty much everything under the sun. Okay. I hope you're going to enjoy my video. You're going to hit the like, subscribe, and of course the bell so you're notified every single time I do upload a new video. I'm going to tell you essentially what I did, and I'm going to tell you what you need to get this done because it does need some preparation. And it's going to take some patience, and actually a system for it, and you will become fungus gnat free. But you really have to be very, very careful and meticulous, and just make sure everything is done correctly, because if you don't, then it's just not going to work. Okay, first off, anything you can think of to try, I've tried and even more. So I have left out Coke, Sprite, 7-Up, Pepsi, just in a dish. I mean, in a bowl, in a glass. That didn't work. I used the apple cider vinegar system, which you put that, mix it with water, or just as I even tried it as is, and I put it everywhere to attract them. That didn't really work. Like, it will attract some of them, but it doesn't really exterminate them. So when I say it doesn't work, it means I still have fungus gnat problems when I did that. I did the hydrogen peroxide. I used my plant-based Eco's laundry detergent, and how I used that was I used 1/5 of this hydrogen peroxide, 3% I believe, to water. I've also used the ratio was either 1 hydrogen peroxide to 4 parts water. I did 1 hydrogen peroxide, 3 parts water. Someone told me that they successfully did it by doing 1:1. So 1 hydrogen peroxide and 1 water. So that's the ratio, equal parts. I did that as well. Let's see, I did the neem oil. I did the Dawns, the blue Dawn that almost killed my Sansevieria. I did mosquito bits, which I do have a container right here. I did the sticky ribbons, which I have it here. I did everything you can think of. And so what successfully made me exterminate my fungus gnats, I will tell you, and you might have to, like, if you don't have to, like, write down notes, you can just rewatch my video. But these are all the things you're gonna need. So please, please, please pay attention. If you miss any of these, unless I say it's optional, it's gonna still keep reproducing. So first, you need to prepare yourself and make sure you have this. This is a concentrated fogger, and this is what we used, and it worked perfectly. So I would recommend you get this. So this says to use there is a specific, okay, for one of the, because this comes in 6 canisters, I believe. Is it 6 or 4? Yeah, 6 canisters. This can only be in a room that is, it says right here, I forgot where to find it, 2,000 cubic feet. So what you need to do is you need to measure the length, the width, and the height of the room. I would suggest follow the directions to the T. Even if let's just say, like, this room has plants, right? And the hallway doesn't, but across this room has a bathroom. You're gonna need a canister in that hallway, because fungus gnats do get attracted with any kind of moisture. So the drainage, the toilet, they might just be hanging around there. So I'll also put that in there. If you want to, put it inside the bathroom. If you want to, we used I think we used like 2-3 boxes of this. We filled our entire house because we were going nuts for that. You need to get this, and this isn't live, so it's okay if you get that ahead of time. If you're in a budget, I would get that. One of the first things to get, I would get a Zapper. And don't worry, everything is going to be linked down below, so it's easy for you to find them and maybe get them all together at the same time. Maybe they arrive at the same time. But you really do need to make sure all of this is there before you start. You need a Zapper. This is really cheap. If you can actually find this, this can, sometimes it depends on your area and it depends on the availability of your home improvement stores. You can find this at a Lowe's, Home Depot, a Menards, an Ace Hardware, I think. I don't remember where we got this. It could have been one of those, because sometimes you'll go to a store and like in our area, they'll only have like, it's not very common for people to buy this. So they'll have maybe like what they told us from, what was it, 3 different locations, is they usually only have this like 3 to 5 on hand. Because usually people prefer the just plug it in and put it in a side. They don't really like the one that you chase around. That's completely different. You can also get that if you want to. If you have animals like pets, like cats, any furry babies you have that do walk around that might be a little dangerous. We do have a toddler, we do have 2 dogs. We used to have that and it just got completely covered. We always made sure that everybody was like either asleep when we turned it on. Dogs were always with us. Like they weren't going to be be close to that and possibly, you know, be in danger. So, but after a while, we did get a little worried about it, so we never repurchased that again, because it does get like super dirty. And this is, I'm talking about the lamb, not this one. Super dirty. And even if you like, we tried to clean it so much, after a while, you just, it kind of like dies on itself. So you need that. This is optional. This, if you do get this though, if you do get this, I will mention it later, but you don't really need to get this. This is just if, let's just say you don't want to chase any fungus gnat or gnat at all with this, and you kind of just want to have this to kind of help you out a little bit, then get this. This is super cheap. These are all pretty cheap. Now, the most expensive thing you're going to get is this. This is the nematodes, and I will link down below the specific that we got. My husband and I researched this for a really long time, which one would be best in our situation, and this is what we got. Again, there are various kinds, and I don't really know how well those work. I will only link down below what the one that worked the best with me or with us. The reason I say me is because I was the one that pretty much did this. The fogger my husband did, the Zapper we both do, and the fly ribbon we both did, but this one was really just me. Okay, when you have all those 3, or optional if you want to include this, then when you have them in your possession, then you can start. But even, let's just say you didn't get them yet, you still have to prepare your plants. But these are the items that you do need to get this done. If you have ever treated your soil with mosquito bits, with hydrogen peroxide, everything that I told you about, like the neem oil, the soap, the detergent, anything that you can think of adding. What was that? The Demester's Earth. I tried that too. That almost killed my plants too. So it just didn't work out for me. It worked out for a lot of people, but not for me. So if you're like me and nothing really worked, this video is definitely for you. Okay, so now going back, I would suggest you don't have to get the nematodes right away. You get the other 2 or 3. The Zapper and the fogger is essential. This one is optional, and if you decide to get it, that's why I said 3. But here's the thing. you have to try and sink your plants. I have over 150 plants, and when I did this, I had over 100 and between 100, close to 150 is what I'm trying to say. And so it's hard to get everything synced up because I have very different kinds of plants. I have plants that need to be watered often, and I have plants that don't need to be watered very often. If you did put any treatment like mosquito beds and it's still on the top of the dirt, scrape all that off as much as you can. Every single one. If I would scrape off like the top layer if you did do that, because that's what I did a little bit before, and then I spread it on the top. The reason for that is it will it can harm the nematodes. So just take that off. And again, if you've done any kind of treatment, hydrogen peroxide and all that stuff, you have to do, and if you fertilize too, you have to do somewhat of a flushing. The easiest way to really do it is just use regular water. Don't add anything to it. No fertilizer, no supplement, no added anything, no additive. Okay, so no hydrogen peroxide, no soap, no mosquito bits. I'm just emphasizing this over and over again because this was a mistake that I did initially, and this is going to make you spend more money, and it's going to waste more time. Okay, so you need to do this. It needs to be at least a month of no fertilizer, no additives with the water. A month. Or 2 to 4 waterings. And like I said, it has to be a minimum of 2. There are plants that you water every 10 days, every 14 days, every 20 days. It depends on your location. It depends on the size, it depends on the species, it depends on a lot of things. So when you have that kind of plant, you might want to sync everybody else to that plant because that plant doesn't get watered as often. So once, within a month and a half, once everything is all synced up pretty much, then this is what you do. The directions for this is you water, then you mix the nematodes, and there is, what I did was 4 cups of water, or what is that? 32 ounces, 32 fluid ounces, or 4 cups of water is 1/2 teaspoon of nematodes. So I would mix that in, and you have to let it sit in for, I believe, 30 seconds. They can only stay there for 2 hours. So don't go over 2 hours. I never really did. I would let it sit there for 30 seconds. I would stir it, and I would put a little bit of where I went to. So that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna, if you have 5 plants, this will be easier. If you have like a ton of plants like me, it was really, really stressful because you have to think this is over 100 plants. This is like almost 150 plants at the time. So with that, what you're going to do is first, there are 3 things you need to do first when it comes to the nematodes. So you can do that. You have to water with just plain water. After you're done watering with the plain water, then you can add the nematode water mix. What I did was I'm sorry. When you water, do not water a lot. Just make sure that the top layer at least, especially like at least half of it, a quarter to a half at least, has gotten some water. Because you have to water the plant 3 times. So make sure it's not too much. And you have to make sure overall, and it also emphasizes here, but it's like, I don't know if anybody else, but for me, it was kind of a little difficult for me to maneuver the manual. So you water 3 times. First with just water, second with the nematodes, third with just water. So this is a huge potential that you can overwater the plant. What I would recommend is this. You don't saturate when you water the first time. You don't saturate where you water the second time. The second time, you make sure you only hit the spot where it was watered first. The third is the same. The third would be, I would just say, very, very little if you want to. I tried without doing the third step, and I tried with the third step. With the third step really does work the best. Just to make sure, it emphasizes that water cannot go through the drainage. If it does, the nematodes gets flushed out, and it's basically moot with that. It basically just doesn't work. So make sure you're going to be watering 3 times in the span of this whole day, okay? And you got to do it quick, because what I would suggest is you have 2 watering cans, one with the nematodes and one without. So you water plant A with the water, nematodes, water. You're done with that. You move to the next one. You move to the next one. You move to the next one. Once that's done, you can add this. And this is, again, optional. You can either do this before the nematodes, or you could do this after the nematodes. Because what I do remember, because I don't have fungus gnats anymore, yay. What I do remember is every time I would water, there would be like a swarm of them coming out of the pot, either crawling or flying around. So it's also a good thing to put this prior to watering. But again, this is optional. That's why I'm saying it after. Okay. Once that's done, you get everything prepared for the fogger. All the directions are here. Certain things you need to cover a layer with, and you're gonna do a ton of laundry. It depends on how big your home is. The smaller the home, the easier it will be, obviously. And you probably only need 1 box. And with this, let's see. I forgot how long, but it does have the directions where before you fog, and then after. So you're supposed to do that. And then I remember we left for 2 hours. Do not enter the home for tourists. When you come back, you have to open everything, let everything air out for another 2 hours. So this is an all-day event, another 2 hours. Just, to kind of air it out. And after that, if there's anything left, anything that is left is brand new hatch. So this is what you need to get, or what you need to have, because when you have, it's not going to be as insane as it was prior to that, but you're still going to have a lot. And the reason you need this is because you don't want them to keep on laying eggs, the brand new ones, to lay eggs again and again and again. So this is what you need to do. You don't have to get every single one. And also, they're just annoying. So this is really, really helpful to have and to use. So you do that. And after that, you can now just water however you want to. But what I would suggest, you water the same way you watered the previous time. And everywhere that I've looked, it said to add the nematodes every 2 weeks. I did that initially, and it wasn't really working. So what I did was I did it every watering for about a month or a little bit more. So I purchased this several times, and it was due to not really doing it right. And that's why I wanted to do this video, because I want everybody to use this the right way, get rid of fungus gnats the right way, and not spend as much money as I did. I spent hundreds of dollars because I used the mosquito beds. I used this. I bought, this is the most expensive out of all of them. And I needed a lot of them, because I have a lot of plants, and when you water them, you have to add this up. And I was watering them with nematodes for, I would say, about a month, and that's when they have stopped coming out. Because you have to imagine, I was worried that I was going to overwater my plants and possibly kill them. Number one. Number two, you also have to make sure it never goes through the drain, because if it goes through the drainage holes you're basically flushing the nematodes out, and you got to redo that specific pot again. So I didn't want to do that because you're really going to flood the plant and you're really going to drown and kill the plant. So I wanted to avoid that completely. What I would suggest, if you have any questions on how many you might need, let me know down below in the comment section. I would say if you have, I'm gonna try and do it down in the description section on which link, what might be the best for you for like an entire month. Like I will just do, you know, between 1 to 50 or 1 to whatever number I would pick, just so you know, the more of these you get, the better. Like I was trying to be cheap and stingy in the beginning, and what that got me was I had to reorder it again, and there was a week that I didn't have them, and they got worse again. So always make sure you have this until like there is 0 fungus gnat available or you seeing anything at all. Because if you do, that one net can lay, what was it, like a few hundred eggs. It can lay from less than 100 to I think 200, I think. That's disgusting. That's a lot. So this is very important. This is all very important. Now, what actually this does is it kills every adult during that time period. When you do come back and you still see a lot of them flying around or a few of them flying around, that is the new hatchling after, because this does not kill adults. It just kills eggs and larvae. This does not kill adults. This only kills eggs and larvae. This kills the pesky ones that go over your face and follow you around and go everywhere that you don't want them to go. This is what that's for. So that's very, very important. This, if you just don't want to zap and you want to put these in any kind of area that has a light source, that's what I've noticed they gravitate towards too, then you can have this around. But that is really optional. I find that the other 3 works phenomenal as is, and this can be really messy. I have a stain on my window now because of this, because of desperation. And my husband bought like 5 of these. We were just like filling everywhere. So that's how I got rid of fungus gnats successfully. And I think that is probably the only way to ever do it. If you have done everything else, this is probably the only way you can do it, because I did everything else. I followed everybody. People said, oh, all you gotta do is do the mosquito bits. And I did do a review on this and what I did. It didn't work and it stunk. Oh, all you gotta do is do this and put apple cider vinegar over there, or water with dish soap and yada, 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 yada. That didn't work out. When I was researching on this, a lot of people where I was researching, there were a lot of people that did mention, which was great, that this doesn't kill adults. So you still need to tackle the adult situation, because if you don't tackle the adult situation and you just get this, they're gonna still lay eggs and reproduce and reproduce. That's why you need this bad boy. This will kill the adults. Adults, eggs, larvae, crawlers in the dirt, because these eat the eggs and the larvae. This just like mass murders the adults. So I know there are other avid houseplant gardeners out there that I know I have like a maniacal smile about it, because it's very satisfying to get rid of these fungus gnats. Having fungus gnat problem is a disaster. It's a nightmare. It's humiliating. It's embarrassing. You don't want anybody to come over. You don't want anybody to go in your house, because there's always something flying around them. And it makes it seem like your house is disgusting. It's not. Your house is squeaky clean. It's just these annoying fungus gnats everywhere. So I hope, because I do have notes here, I hope that this was very informative for you and you're able to successfully get rid of your fungus gnats. Again, let's do an overview. Before you get everything done, what you need to do is get this, optional. Get your plants synced up. Once you get your plants synced up, or it's going to be synced up, let's just say in 2 weeks or in a week. I would say 2 weeks. You can get this, or in a week you can get that. And depending on how fast you want it to be delivered, just make sure this arrives, and it's going to be in a span of a few days. This can survive, I believe, 4 to 6 weeks in your fridge. Make sure it's going to be used at that time frame. So that's why I said, make sure everything is synced up together. And when it's going to be synced up, make sure you have this in the fridge, maybe at least 1 or 2 days there, so you're completely ready. Make sure your entire day is spaced, nothing, no needed to do like, oh, someone's coming over, nothing like that. Like you have to have a total of 4, maybe 5 hours to make sure this is taken care of. You have to prepare your home in regards to, if you do get this is optional again. You put this on, water, they starts to swarm out, they get stuck by there. Maybe if you have a roommate, a housemate, a significant other, somebody that can help you, maybe they can also be around there when you're watering. Sometimes when I water and my husband is home, sometimes he would be around me. He would be carrying this and just wait for them to come out. But this was before. Do that, and if you don't decide to do that and you just decide to just water, then start watering. After you finish every single plant that you've watered, depending on how extensive your plant collection is. Again, I have between 150 to 200, so I do have a list that I follow. And what I realized after doing this several times is that it's easier to just water nematodes, water, and just kind of systematically do it. You know, if you have a row or a column or something like that, it's just easier to do it per area. After that's done, set up everything needs to be taped up and covered. So you need to cover your cupboards. If not, you have to wash them when you're done after the 2 hours. So instead of having to do that, you might want to tape them up so that everything is closed. What happened with us was one of our cupboards was open, and we had I had to wash everything in there. So I would suggest make sure it's taped up. Just get like a temporary tape, something. Also like a thick blanket, like a winter blanket on your bed or something to cover it should help on your furniture, all that stuff. And after that, you just gotta pop them into wash. But and with the fogger, what I would suggest is start off with the room that is the furthest away. So if you don't have a basement, you should do the second floor first and then the first floor, and then you leave. If you do have a basement, what my husband did was he did the basement, he did the second floor, and he did the first floor last, and then we left. We were gone for 2 hours. We came back and aired everything out, and that was another 2 hours. We left again. He was the only one that came in, opened windows, and we left. We came back, and we just started like hauling everything. Needed to be washed, all that stuff. There were still fungus gnats flying around, but these were new hatchlings, and this really comes in handy. So that's the overview of that. In the upcoming times that you will have to water, what I would suggest, just do the same nematode system. Water, nematode with water, and then water again. And make sure, this is very, very important, make sure it never goes through the drainage, especially on the third time you water. Because if it does go into the drainage, the nematodes will be flushed out. So you're basically paying for something and not really being able to use it. It will be wasted. So I really don't want anybody to go through that. And there will still be fungus gnats flying around for, I would say, like you would see like 1 or 5 or 10 pop up in the next few weeks, but it will be more contained. And because they're new hatchlings, like this is so easy. You just get it done in like 10 minutes, they're gone. So again, this is very important, and this is very, very cheap. This one, they all require batteries, so just make sure you have batteries as well. I'm trying to make sure, you know, I'm getting everything in here. If there's anything else that I could have forgotten, let me know down below in the comment section. I love to hear from you guys all the time. Also, all my social media accounts are in the description section, so do check that out. All of these are going to be in the description section, so it's very, very easy for you guys to get and acquire. Anything else that I could find, if I could find something with a coupon or a discount, they're all always going to be in the description section, regardless if it's connected to this video or not, because I want you guys to always get a discount if you can. I mean, who wants to pay full price, right? So this is how I have successfully done it. It's hard work, and that's the price you gotta pay with fungus gnats. For me, the lesson that I get from this is I am never going to buy from Miracle-Gro ever again, soil-wise, any product. Not only did I have a really bad experience with their customer service, with their company after complaining about the fungus gnats problem, they were the source of the fungus gnats. I've never had fungus gnats ever, and I used to have like 50 plants and so on and so on, nothing. And so I don't recommend that soil ever. If there's anything else, guys, anything else, let me know down in the comment section. I love hearing from you guys all the time. Anything else, comment section, guys. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.